Have you ever stood in your kitchen staring at a plate of food, wondering if the very thing meant to nourish you might quietly be pushing your kidneys closer to failure? I'm Dr. Mark Ellis, and I need to be honest with you. When kidney disease enters your life, one wrong food choice repeated day after day can silently raise creatinine, weaken your body, and accelerate damage long before you feel anything is wrong. That's the danger most people never see coming, because kidney decline doesn't shout. It whispers until one day the labs change and there's no turning back. But here's what almost no one tells you, and this is critical. Avoiding food out of fear is just as dangerous as eating the wrong food. When protein drops too low, muscles waste, immunity collapses, and recovery becomes harder with every passing week. The real question isn't whether you should eat meat, it's which meat can actually work with your kidneys instead of against them, supporting strength-stable labs and long-term survival without adding toxic load. And once you understand this difference, the anxiety around every meal begins to loosen its grip, because the right choice doesn't punish your kidneys. It protects them. When it comes to protecting weakened kidneys, the first protein choice matters more than most people realize. And this is where fresh white fish quietly becomes a game changer. I've seen countless patients walk into my clinic convinced that all meat is dangerous because their creatinine kept creeping up no matter what they ate. One gentleman in his early 60s told me he had stopped eating protein almost entirely, hoping to protect his kidneys, only to feel weaker, more fatigued, and dizzy within weeks. His labs showed something important. His creatinine hadn't improved, but his albumin had dropped and muscle loss was accelerating. That's when we made a simple but powerful change, introducing fresh white fish the right way. From a scientific standpoint, fresh white fish like cod, haddock, sole, or tilapia delivers what kidney patients desperately need: high biological value protein without the toxic baggage. A modest 3-ounce serving provides about 19 to 22 grams of usable protein, meaning your body can actually build and repair tissue instead of turning excess protein into nitrogen waste your kidneys must filter. Even more important, white fish is naturally low in phosphorus, averaging around 150-200 mg per serving, and that phosphorus is organic, not the highly absorbable inorganic type found in processed meats. This single distinction can reduce the risk of bone pain, itching, vascular calcification, and long-term cardiovascular damage problems that silently worsen kidney disease over time. Potassium is another hidden danger for many people watching this, especially if you've ever been warned about hyperkalemia. Fresh white fish typically contains only 250 milligrams of potassium per serving, placing it safely below the danger zone for most CKD patients, even those in later stages. Compare that to many plant-based proteins or healthy meat substitutes that quietly push potassium far higher, and you begin to see why lab numbers often improve when patients switch to white fish. Add to that its extremely low saturated fat, usually under 1 gram per serving, and you're also protecting the heart, which is already under stress in chronic kidney disease. What often surprises people is how gentle whitefish is on the entire metabolic system. It's easier for the liver to process lower in purines, meaning less risk of gout flares, and it still provides small but meaningful amounts of omega-3s, vitamin B12, selenium, and niacin. These nutrients support nerve function, red blood cell production, and antioxidant defense inside kidney tissue itself. And this is critical portion, size, and preparation decide whether whitefish heals or harms. Overeating it daily or choosing breaded, frozen, or pre-marinated versions loaded with sodium and phosphate additives can quickly erase its benefits and push labs in the wrong direction. When prepared simply baked, steamed, or gently roasted with olive oil, garlic herbs, and lemon fresh white fish becomes one of the safest, most stabilizing proteins you can put on your plate. And many patients tell me this is the moment their fear around food finally begins to loosen, because for the first time, eating doesn't feel like gambling with their kidneys. But knowing this alone isn't enough, because there's another protein choice people think is safe, yet can quietly cause damage if handled the wrong way. After white fish helps calm the fear around protein, the next choice often feels familiar, but this is exactly where many kidney patients make a costly mistake. Skinless chicken breast can either be a powerful ally for your kidneys or a silent saboteur, depending on how it's chosen, cooked, and portioned. I remember a patient who proudly told me, "I only eat chicken now, doctor." It's healthy. Yet his creatinine kept rising, his blood pressure was unstable, and itching had become unbearable. The problem wasn't chicken itself, it was how chicken was sneaking hidden dangers into his body. Here's the science most people never hear. A 3-ounce serving of plain skinless chicken breast provides about 25-26 grams of high biological value protein, one of the most efficient forms for preserving muscle and maintaining serum albumin. For kidney patients, this matters deeply. Low albumin is one of the strongest predictors of hospitalization and poor outcomes in CKD, and losing muscle accelerates weakness, falls, and immune decline. Chicken breast helps rebuild without flooding the bloodstream with excess waste when eaten in the right amount. What makes skinless chicken breast stand out is what it leaves out. It contains less than 1 gram of saturated fat per serving, which reduces strain on the heart and blood vessels already under pressure in chronic kidney disease. Its phosphorus content averages around 180-190 milligrams, and crucially, its organic phosphorus absorbed far less aggressively than the inorganic phosphates added to deli meats, frozen nuggets, rotisserie chicken, or pre-seasoned cuts. This single difference can mean the gap between stable labs and rising PTH, bone pain, and vascular calcification. Potassium is another hidden win here. With roughly 220-250 milligrams per serving, skinless chicken breast stays within a range most CKD patients can tolerate safely, especially when paired with low potassium sides like white rice, zucchini, or cauliflower. It's also naturally low in purines, helping reduce the risk of gout attacks and uric acid buildup, an overlooked but painful complication many kidney patients struggle with. Add in vitamin B6, zinc, selenium, and modest iron content, and you're supporting nerve health, immunity, and red blood cell production without overwhelming the kidneys. But this is where the danger creeps in. Most people don't realize that the chicken itself is rarely the problem, the additives are. Store-bought marinades, seasoning packets, brines, and gravies often contain sodium phosphate, potassium salts, and MSG compounds that can spike blood pressure, worsen fluid retention, and quietly drive lab values in the wrong direction. I've seen patients improve simply by switching from convenient chicken to plain home-cooked chicken baked or grilled gently with olive oil, garlic, herbs, lemon, or ginger. When eaten in 3 to 4 ounce portions 2 to 3 times per week, skinless chicken breast becomes a stabilizing force, protecting muscle, supporting energy, and reducing complications without accelerating kidney decline. Many patients describe this as the moment meals stop feeling dangerous and start feeling supportive again. But even this isn't the full picture, because there's another lean meat most people overlook, one that can be even more protective when kidneys are truly struggling. After understanding how whitefish calms inflammation and how skinless chicken breast preserves muscle, without overwhelming the kidneys, we arrive at a protein choice that many people overlook. But in advanced kidney disease, it can quietly make all the difference. Fresh, unprocessed turkey breast sits at a unique intersection of strength and safety. And for patients struggling with rising creatinine, chronic fatigue, or early dialysis discussions, this is often the protein that restores balance when nothing else seems to work. I've watched patients who felt stuck doing everything right yet still declining begin to stabilize once this single switch was made. From a physiological standpoint, turkey breast offers exactly what compromised kidneys can tolerate. A 3-ounce serving delivers about 24-25 grams of high-quality protein, enough to slow muscle breakdown and support immune repair without generating excessive nitrogen waste. Its phosphorus content averages around 190-200 milligrams per serving, and just like the other kidney-safe meats, this phosphorus is organic, meaning far less is absorbed into the bloodstream compared to the inorganic phosphates hiding in processed turkey slices, deli meats, or pre-brined cuts. This distinction protects bones, arteries, and the heart system's already vulnerable when kidney function declines. What truly sets turkey breast apart, however, is its micronutrient profile. It's naturally rich in vitamin B6 and niacin nutrients that support nerve signaling, energy, metabolism, and renal microcirculation factors closely tied to brain fog, tingling, and exhaustion so common in CKD. It also provides around 25-30 micrograms of selenium, fueling glutathione activity, one of the kidney's most important internal antioxidant defenses. For patients on restricted diets or dialysis, turkey breast supplies zinc and iron in modest usable amounts helping protect taste perception, wound healing, and red blood cell production without pushing labs out of range. Potassium often raises concern here, but turkey breast typically contains around 240–260 milligrams per serving, placing it in a manageable zone for most stage 3 to 5 CKD patients when portions are controlled and paired wisely. In practice, I advise combining turkey with low potassium sides, white rice, zucchini, or cauliflower to keep levels stable. Just as important, turkey breast is naturally low in saturated fat and purines, reducing cardiovascular strain and the risk of gout flares, both of which quietly accelerate kidney decline if left unchecked. The real danger, once again, isn't the meat, it's the processing. Oven-roasted, smoked, or seasoned turkey is often loaded with sodium phosphate, potassium lactate, and hidden sugars that sabotage blood pressure, fluid balance, and lab results. But when you choose plain, fresh turkey breast, cook it gently at low heat and season with herbs, lemon, garlic, and olive oil, it becomes one of the most kidney-respectful proteins available. In 3 to 4 ounce portions, 2 to 3 times per week, turkey breast helps patients feel stronger without paying for it later in their lab work. For many people, this is the moment food stops feeling like the enemy and starts feeling like support again, a quiet shift that restores confidence and control. But even with the right meats on your plate, there's one final factor most people underestimate, and it may ultimately decide whether kidney function stabilizes or continues to decline. If you're still watching, I want you to know this. First, having kidney disease does not mean you failed, and it does not mean your future's already decided. Every small informed choice you make with food timing and preparation gives your kidneys a little more breathing room, and over time, those small decisions add up to real strength, better energy, and fewer complications. You don't need perfection. You need consistency, awareness, and the courage to keep going, even on days when it feels overwhelming. If this video helped you understand your kidneys a little better, I encourage you to save it so you can come back to these guidelines whenever food choices feel confusing, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the newest science-based medical insights on protecting kidney function, lowering creatinine, and avoiding unnecessary complications. I share this information because I care deeply about helping you stay informed, independent, and confident in your health decisions. And remember, this kidney decline is not a straight line, and it's never too late to slow it down. With the right knowledge, the right habits, and the right support, many people stabilize, their labs regain strength, and live full, meaningful lives for years longer than they were told. Stay committed, stay hopeful, and keep choosing what supports your body, because your plate, your knowledge, and your mindset truly have the power to heal.